This testimony is coming your way to change your financial status. It's captioned the $10,000 gift. In Sacramento, a man put a check in my hand and said, "Hey, preacher, this is yours." I said, "Thank you." He said, "It's yours if." In my heart, I said, "Oh no," because I knew he was going to put a string on the gift. If what? He said, "If you can heal my daughter, she has epilepsy." I said, "Do you mind if I look at that check before I tear it up?" It was a $10,000 check. I tore that thing up and put it back into his hand. "Who do you think you are?" I asked him. "You think that just because you can write a check like this, you can buy something from God? It's not possible. You've got to receive from God on the same level as a poor man. You've got to believe God if you are going to have a miracle, mister." Now, I did not tell him this, but I believe if he would have put that check in the offering bucket without making a scene, he would have moved God with that faith. He showed by giving that sacrificial offering. Yes. You see, there's a way to give. Some people like to be seen. There's no blessing involved in that. But the Lord doesn't look at the size of the gift. He looks at the heart that gives the sacrifice which has gone into the gift. Why we can move God with our faith in giving an offering, we cannot buy anything from God. We cannot bribe God. If we try, our trust our trust is in the money, not in God. Now, do you remember the widow's mite in Luke 21? Luke 21, before I read, "And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in her 2 mites, her 2 tither mites. And he said, Of a truth, I say to you, that this poor widow, who had just given God her 2 mites, has cast in more into the treasury than all the others who gave. She has given more. For all these people have of their abundance casting into the offerings of God, but she, out of her penury, had cast in all the living she had." You see, you can move God by your giving, because your giving shows God your faith. Jesus noticed even the tiny gift of that widow, and he was moved. But in order to move God with a gift, you must give it in faith, in humility, and as a sacrifice. Don't expect God to be impressed if you bring a 10 billion bribe to God. You bring 10 billion gift because you want God to heal you, you're wasting your time. But you can give that secretly without making any noise about it and trust God to intervene. God will intervene. I remind you in Luke chapter 7 from verse 2 to verse 10, the Roman centurion had a servant whom he loved. That his servant was dear to him, but he was sick and ready to die. The man sent some men to Jesus, some Jewish leaders to Jesus, and begged that Christ should come and heal the servant who was dear to him, but ready to die. When they came to Christ, they pleaded with him and said, "Master, please come and help. This man deserves your help." Why do you say this man deserves my help? I am not sent to Romans. I am not sent to those who are not part of God's covenant. I am sent to the Lordship of Israel, not to every other person. They say, "Yes, but this man loves our nation and has built us a synagogue, a church," if it is today. He has single-handedly built us a place. He has spent a fortune to build us a place of worship. Jesus, hearing that, left the Jews he was ministering to and went on his way to go and heal that man's servant. The man realized and said to them, go and tell him, I don't think you should come to my house. I am not worthy to have you come to my house. I am a man under authority. Just say the word, and my servant shall be healed. Christ said, I've never seen a man of faith like this in all of Israel. He left. They returned home, and the man's son was healed. Why did Jesus leave all the Jews to go and heal a Roman officer who was a servant to a Roman general? Because he had spent his money to build a place of worship for God's people. Giving can move God, but you cannot bribe God. Jesus was going. Zacchaeus, the tax collector, climbed the tree to see Jesus Christ. When Christ got to where he was, he said, Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to your house today. Zacchaeus came down. After the encounter with Christ, Zacchaeus said, I'm sorry for my lifestyle. Half of my wealth I will give to the poor. He wasn't giving to bribe God or bribe Jesus. No. He wasn't giving because he wanted God to do something for him. No, he wasn't giving because he wanted to be saved or he wanted to see Christ come to his house. Or no. Christ said, I'm going to your house. He said, half of my goods I give to the poor. Now, if I have taken any money as a tax collector from anyone by fraud, let them bring the evidence. I'm going to give them back 4 times what I took from them. Christ said, indeed, salvation has come into this man's house, for he also indeed is a son of Abraham. Listen, you can give God a sacrifice, but don't ever try to buy God. Don't ever try to buy God with a gift. You can give a sacrifice without anybody knowing. The widow came and put in her 2 mice, no announcement, but God knew how much she put in and told Christ, and Christ told the disciples, she has given more than others because she gave all. It's like a woman who has 3 billion and she gave all. A man who has 10 billion and gave 5 billion has not given like this woman. She gave all what she needed to live. That man still have 5 billion. He can go and live on that rest. But this man gave all and had nothing again to live on. That is what give is all about. When you can give God your sacrifice, listen, God will move on your behalf. I showed us in the other testimony about a woman whose son had 26 diseases. She had her last $20 to live with her son. But the man of God came and said, I want you to give an offering of faith. What does it mean? An offering that you can't give ordinarily. She ran to go and give God her $20. Nobody told her what to give, but she ran. She can decide to change it. There was no amount stated. Just give God what you know. It's a faith offering, an offering of faith. She came and said, she ran. The devil told her, don't. $15 belongs to the doctor, and 5 is for gas for your car. Don't be stupid. Don't give. She ran and dropped that thing. And you know what? That same day, God healed her son of 26 diseases. And people that came to just look at the boy kept putting money to her hand, and she got him, counted it $235 for giving only $20. That was her last. Listen, you can change your story. You can change your story. You cannot beat God giving. You can change your story. Giving God bribe does not pay, but giving God a sacrifice pays. I repeat, giving God a bribe, saying, if you heal me, I'll give you my house. That is bribery. Give God your house without saying it and trust God to heal you. That is faith. Now, suppose God doesn't heal you, that's where the faith comes in. You give in expectation that God will act. That is faith. Now saying, God, I will give you this if you heal me, is conditional. It's bribery. It's not faith. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Give with all of your heart. God, I have this amount of money. I'm not paying you for healing me because there's no amount of money I can pay to be healed. If there is, I will have paid to the doctor and the doctors will heal me. I am suffering because no doctor can heal me. And if I'm to pay, I know I'll be healed, I'll pay. But I've spent so much money, yet I'm not healed. But I'm saying, because I believe you, and I know you can show mercy, I sow this secretly. I trust you to attend to me. God will attend to you. But coming to a person saying, I will give you 1 million if you can pray for me and I get healed, that is bribery. It doesn't work. It will never work. May God give you wisdom. Now I pray for you that you will stop trying to bribe God or men of God, but live your life by faith. If you have something to give to God, give it to God and expect greatness from Him. Every seed sower, I grew up as a farm boy. Every seed sower plants a seed with a heart to receive a harvest. They plant their seed and they expect a harvest. Plant your seed, expect your harvest of healing, and God will attend to you. But don't try to come and say, Pastor, pray for me. If you pray for me and I'm healed, I will give you something. Don't try. It doesn't pay. You may get something you don't bargain for. God bless you. I love you. I love you. Don't forget, giving pays. You can give to move God. Don't ever give to bribe God. When you give by faith, you move God. When you say, if God heals me, I will give an offering, you are not walking by faith. I've seen people say, Pastor, pray for me. If I'm healed, I will give God a sacrifice. God will never heal you. Because no, you are. If God heals you, you will say, because of this. If you want to make a vow secretly in your heart. Somebody came to me some time ago. He said, please, sir, pray for me. In my bank, as a banker, they are sacking people, and I don't be sacked. Please pray for me. In his heart, he made a promise to God I didn't know. I just say, if one person will be left in your department, because you have come to ask me, in honor, I say you will be that one. If there were 3 of them that came, I say, if there are three of you, because of you, others will be taken. But you are the one that asked, they will return you. To God's glory. They were 3 of them were retained, and he came back and gave me a very fat envelope. He was working with I think Access Bank then. He came with a very fat envelope, and he was going to, I think he was attending House on the Rock. That's the church he was going to. Yet he came to me. Maybe the pastor, I don't know, but he came to me. So God helped him, and he came with a fat offer. If he told me, if you pray for me, and then I'll give you money, I wouldn't have prayed. Don't ever try to bribe God. If he had told me, Pastor, pray for me, if you pray for me and I am returned, I will give you a CD, I would have sent him out of my office. Threat. I wouldn't have. So what I'm saying, you don't bribe God. No matter how much you have, don't bribe God. Just come to God with all of your heart. If you need something from you, people make vows, and God can be moved by their vow. It's between man and God. It is between him and God. Jephthah was going to fight away. He said, God, if I win this war, whatever comes out of my house, I'll give you first. Whatever comes out from my house first when I return will be yours. That's a vow between him and God. You can make that vow between you and God. God, do this for me and that. But don't tell me, or don't tell me, Pastor, if you pray for me and God heals me, I'll give you 1 million, I'll give you 10 million. Still relevant. We don't pray for that. God does not work because of that. Move God with your sacrifice, not with your bribe. God bless you. See you again.